If you are interested in any of my tutorial guides for Microsoft Flight Simulator, or simply interested in supporting the channel, consider joining me on Patreon. Patreon subscribers level tier 2 and above have access to all of my guides as well as any future guides that come down the road. Patreon link can be found in the description below. Hello everyone, Overkill here from Overkill Simulations. And 6 months ago I had the pleasure of showcasing the Moza AB9 force feedback base with the MH16 flight stick for flight simulation. The AB9 completely changed the feel and experience in all aspects of flight. However, Moza's path for the AB9 didn't stop there, and today I'm happy to show you the Moza's AB9 force feedback shifter. The team over at Moza took the AB9's capabilities and brought them to the driving simulation arena. Whether your passion is speeding through the tracks in simulators like Assetto Corsa or taking to the road delivering goods and cargo in American Truck Simulator, the AB9 force feedback shifter will give you an unparalleled shifting experience. And with the Moza Pithouse software, you can very easily swap between the shifter and flight modes, as well as multiple transmission configurations and all kinds of other settings that will help you optimize your force feedback experience with the Moza shifter. The Moza AB9 force feedback base has become a must-have for any flight or driving simulation.
Alright guys, so you saw the intro, and so now we're going to talk a bit more about it, but it's pretty clear on what this has done. But I'm going to give you guys a bit more information of what I'm feeling, what it's like, how it operates, how easy it was to set up. And we're also going to go through the software a little bit just to show you guys again the simplicity of it. We're obviously still in the DOF Reality H3 motion simulator. Well, let's start talking about the shifter. So I am blown away that they were able to do this. This is the most realistic shifting experience that I've ever had in a simulator. As someone who used to I used to own a four-wheel drive. I used to, do standard transmissions. I've raced in standard transmissions. It is the most realistic experience that I have felt in any kind of simulator. You get the vibration from the engine inside of the base. You also get the haptic feedback that you get as you shift into gears. You get the grind sensation if you are not in the right position. It's got that, so right here is where the gear is, but since I'm not giving enough pressure, you're getting that sort of bounce back from the stick, but you have to drive it through. But it's not like using the HGP from Moza or any other kind of standard shifter that you guys would be used to using. This thing is absolutely phenomenal. The experience is something that I really wish that I knew how to portray into words. It is so realistic, and everything from the haptic feedback to the gear grinding to the spring to the dampening to the tension to the notching for the gear positions, it can all be configured with inside of the software. The software is just so easy. I'm gonna drive like a jerk here because I really don't care. It's not this particular. We're not driving to behave ourselves right now. We're just driving to drive. But you guys, I can't stress it enough. The way that Moza has taken the AB9 and moved it into the driving simulation was so well done. I'm gonna regret doing that, so I guess we'll go this way. And it's very easy to determine where you are. It's just like anything else, just like driving a real standard. You get that muscle memory. You start figuring out where the different gears are, where you need to be. I can get through the gears without even thinking about it. You have different gear combinations You can go anything from a 5+1 to a 6+1 to a 7+1. That +1, for those of you who don't know, being reverse. So you have multiple different layouts. You can even do sequential if you want it. As you guys saw in the intro video, I also used this in Assetto Corsa, and it was intense. This thing was, I mean, you even slam it into gear, it does not care. Absolutely does not care. I have the most fun with this in American Truck Simulator simply because of how realistic the feeling really is. Being able to just simply bring it over and pop it into gear like you never would. You guys can see it sort of reacting as I push it into gear. So you can be real hard on it, but you don't need to. I mean, but like for the Assetto Corsa, for example, where you want that real tight shifting, as you guys saw in the intro video, you can totally tune it to that as well. And again, the feedback, all that exists in the racing simulation as well. When you grind a gear, you freaking know it. It yells at you pretty hardcore. Some things that they're working on is, for example, as the engine is running, we should be getting a little bit of vibration and haptic feedback in that sense, and that is something that is currently being developed. Same thing with, I have also expressed to them, and they have taken interest in like floating gears, and the aspect of, you know, with a big truck like this, they often don't use the clutch outside of the first initial couple gears. They usually come off the clutch, and then afterward, that what they'll do is use the RPMs, and they'll match the RPMs, and then sort of push the gear into, or push the shifter into the gear at the right RPM versus having to use the clutch. The thing with big trucks like this is they are square cut gears, so they don't mesh very well unless you're really at the right RPM. So there's further development being done. This is obviously still a very early release of the software and of the overall configuration for it. And the fact that if you already own the AB9, you can have a force feedback shifter for only $40. And really, I'm going to be blunt here and say that if you can come up with your own adapter, like this is a custom adapter from ATS Accessories, you guys check out atsaccessories.com. They're the same one who make this Patriot XL button box, and they have a bunch of other stuff. He and I worked very closely together to develop this shifter as well as the extension for it. So there's a lot of things that are going to be coming down the road for this as a shifter as well. But it doesn't have to be a very long video, guys, but I wanted to make sure that you guys actually got to hear from me the overall experience of it. Now we'll go ahead and pull the truck over here and take a quick glance at the software just so you guys can see some of the configuration. Park it right up here. Okay, so as we talked before, here is the Moza Pit House software. Again, you can see that I'm currently in a 7+1 configuration. The calibration is very, and like for example, there you guys can see, watch the shifter. It's kicking me back out. It doesn't like that because I'm not on the clutch. Like I am pushing, and there, now it slams in. But it didn't like that at all. So you get that feedback. You have tons of different feedback configuration options. You can, just like with the wheelbases for Moza, you do a calibration. You can also do a cogging torque calibration as well. Here are some of the layouts that we were talking about: 5+ reverse, 6 reverse. They have 1 and 2, and same thing with the 7 series. You have 2 different configurations, and what those configurations are is it changes the position of the reverse. So you can have reverse down here or reverse up here on both of those. Let's see here, that's 6 and 7 gear layouts. To switch it back over into flight simulation mode, you literally just click this button, and this will automatically recalibrate itself for flight sim. You close the the Pit House software, and you would launch the cockpit software at that point to go back into flight sim mode. So it makes it real easy when you have a setup like this, like a static simulator pit, where you'd like to be able to drive and do flight simulation at the same time. So this is a really fantastic adaptation with the AB9. I think they've really outdone themselves with this, and the feeling is stellar. I just cannot. I wish I knew how to express it beyond what I already am. The realism that this feels. I have used the HGP. I have Moza's standard HGP shifter sitting on the shelf. I have used Thrustmaster's TH8. I've used multiple simulation shifters, and this is the most realistic experience I've ever felt. It is damn close, guys. It is damn close to the real thing. A couple more tweaks, a couple more things, and I've already given them some feedback, and they said they're working on it. They're going to develop some of this stuff. And if they iron the rest of this out, like that engine feedback, getting that haptic feedback to where, you get some vibration from the engine, getting that floating of the gears down for the truck to where if you're not at the right gear, it will bounce the shifter back out at you and won't let you shift it. If they iron that stuff out, and again, this is the first release of the software for this, so I'm sure, and they are sure that they can make it happen. Obviously, the simulator, whatever simulator you're using, has to also support that telemetry, but American Truck Simulator, to my understanding, does. So these are just one option or one example of this simulator is just one example of the things that are to come for this. Again, in the beginning of the video, you guys saw the intro where it had the Assetto Corsa where we were racing in it. So it's a really, really fantastic setup. So anyways, once again, congratulations to Moza on really thinking outside the box and taking the shifter to the next level using a piece of flight simulation hardware. There are some other ideas that I have pitched them for use of this that I got to thinking about that I'm going to be working with, again, some third-party people to develop some other stuff for both driving and flight simulation that we've been bouncing around. So stick around for more news on that, guys. This thing is going to become very, very popular on this channel because of some of the other projects and ideas that we're working on. So stay tuned for more on that. I hope you guys like this. I hope you guys are just as excited for this as I am. I think this is absolutely fantastic. So anyway, as always, guys, stay safe and healthy. See you in the next one.